My people, the women of Ife have raised a petition before the Oni, and this petition have come in a way that, if in conjunction with what the prominent men have said, because the prominent men came out to remind the Oni of what he said some times ago, that if any of his wife misbehaves or gets involved in any form of chaos at all, what he is going to do is he will make sure that the person is completely detached from him, and he would never have any form of concern or anything to do with that particular person again. And now the women of Ile-Ife have actually come to to also be a part of that movement by telling him that what they want to do now is that anything these women do, them, the women of Ile-Ife, will make sure that they drag them to the Olojo Square, because they have dragged them on several occasions, but it did not stop. But this time around, they are dragging you with your load, and you are leaving Ile-Ife. So once you leave Ile-Ife on that note, there is nothing that will make you step into Ile-Ife again. So this has now become a rule for this woman, and the Oni is yet to say anything, because if any of his wives get to leave Ileife in that condition, it is shameful. Yes, it is very, very shameful. But we feel to a very large extent he might have to accept it. Yes, he might have to say yes to it, because there is nothing that seems to work on this woman. Everything seems impossible. Like every single thing they have been bringing over time to make sure that they get them coordinated has been impossible. So, to a very large extent, we feel that this particular one might work on them, because for you to get dragged out of Ileife, if at first they will take you to the Oloja Market Square, and you know what happens there? The kind of people that are always there waiting for the people that they will drag and bring, whether you are Ooni's wife or whatsoever you are, they don't care. All they care about is what, that point where they will disgrace you, they will do whatsoever it is they want, and then you are dragged out of Ile-Ife at the same time. So my people, oh, we don't know if the Ooni would even accept this, because any of his wife should leave Ile-Ife on that note, it will be so disgraceful, very, very disgraceful. But he said before now that any one of them that does something, does any single thing that does not align with what he wants for the palace, he will completely detach from you. He will not have any concern with you. He will make sure that you are completely off the record with him. And right now, we are experiencing the women of Ile-Ife bringing in a whole new idea to fuel this journey. And all we are saying is we want to hear from the Oni, because when the Oni had to cut ties and cut everything with Olori Mariam, people said it was too harsh. Some other person said it was too humiliating. And a lot of persons called him and told him that, see, this thing you are doing, it actually has a bad stigma on this woman. So it's better you call it off. Or the Oni had no single concern. No, he had nothing. Nothing at all. He was not willing to have any single thing at all that he would do with Miriam again. But people had to call him and tell him that no, this particular one you want to do, or you are doing, or you are about doing, it is too disastrous. In fact, it was very, very disastrous for her, because she was not ever going to step her foot in Ile-Ife again. And her people even came at some point that they were going to take her back, for your people to hear of how much disaster you have caused. And then they will come to your husband's house and they want to take you back. It is indeed a bad thing. Yes, it is so much of a bad thing. But right now, it seems like any single thing this man holds his hands on, like anything at all that he holds his hands on, he will use it to send this woman away. Yes. In fact, he might even regret taking any advice from the people who to ask him to, take Miriam back, when, and all of those times that he said the people should go back, he will be the one to take Miriam personally to them, and all of those things. He would regret it by now, because if only he stood by his words, if only he insisted that since I have said this, it stands, Miriam would have not been a picture of the palace by now. Should have been completely out of the palace. And with all of these things put together, in fact, he would have been facing Toby and Ronke, but due to reconsider, be considerate, it is harsh, this and that, he had to bring Miriam back, and now he's facing three women who are ready to bring him down. Let's not speak about Elizabeth, Temitope, Pedro, Ashley, all of those ones. I think they are more concerned with waking up every day and answering Olori in the palace. Yes, that's just what they are concerned with. And even Elizabeth, we are waiting for that moment when she will be put to bed. Because the last time we heard, she said she's pregnant. Yes, the media don't forget. And we have not forgotten. We are waiting for that particular moment where she would come out again to tell us something about her pregnancy. Because that was the last thing we heard from her. And right now, my people, with all of these things put together, we don't know which point, which side, which position to put these women, or which stand they are going to be on. But truthfully speaking, we know very well that these women are capable of things. And if Oni happens to accept the women of Ilife on this particular one, we know very well, we know very, very well that we know very, very well, not 100% sure, but we know that this would definitely have an impact on them in one way or the other. It would definitely have an impact. Yes, because the way these things are going now, the way these whole things are happening now, we know for sure that these women have more things in stock coming. They are planning things more and more, and they are willing to do more. They are not even ready to stop yet. So in every single thing, we are yet to see what these women are capable of. Because you say this whole thing, if Naomi comes to a resolution that, okay, let's settle this, I'm coming back with my son, these women would definitely come out to do one or two things that will cause chaos.